What is up, drip tippers? It is Ben Morris and I am back with a much awaited and long overdue drip tip review. This time we will be looking at SMOK's entry into the temperature control game with the SMOK TCT. Very bright, temperature control tank. That is of course what it stands for. And thank you to one of the drip tip fans who pointed out that SMOK, it is pronounced SMOK, is a Polish word. I believe it's Polish, which means dragon. Now, why a company in Shenzhen, China would choose to name their company after a Polish word for dragon is beyond me. But then again, who the hell knows why China does what it does, but keep on doing it, China. You're crazy and we love you. The temperature control tank is one I purchased recently that I'm actually really enjoying, especially because I feel that it is a much better counterpart for the Joyetech EVIC VT than the included Ego 1 Mega tank, which is good, but not amazing. The coils are kind of dinky, and I don't think it really unlocks the potential that the Joyetech has for temperature control devices. The SMOK TCT, however, there's nothing remarkable. There's nothing remarkable about the tank. There's no, let's just say, killer feature, no brand new innovation. But what they've done very well. And so I have found it to be a very consistently performing tank with phenomenal coils, which I think really are the heart of why this tank is so good. They're probably the best temperature control coils I have used, and we'll look closer at why the coils are so good once we dive down into the close-up. You can see right here, it does come with 3-color O-ring sets. I have the black ones on there now. It ships with green, and it also ships with red. I like the O-ring design on this as well. The drip tip, as you can see, is actually a Pyrex glass drip tip with an airflow control in it. I don't really use the airflow control much, but it's a nice option. Oh, and I'm playing with a new studio setup here in the Drip Tip Studios, aka my office. So by all means, tell me if you like it. I do. I think I'm going to stick with this one for a little while. So let me dive down into the close-up. Why does everyone say dive down? Are we really diving? Are we fucking Greg Louganis here? Let me reposition this camera so we can get a hell of a lot closer and you can actually see what comes with the tank and the design of the tank, and some of the reasons that I think this is such a good tank, especially for temp control. So let's do that now. Okay, so here we have the different pieces of the tank that have been disassembled for your viewing pleasure. Let me mop that shit up. Stay there. And of course we'll do the pseudo-faux unboxing. So green box, it comes with the green O-rings. You pop that off. SMOK, Polish for dragon. Don't know why. Inside, you have replacement Pyrex. Get out of there. Get out of there. Glass tube. The Pyrex on this tank is actually nice and thick. So thick that my finger is stuck in the thing and the plastic. And these are all things that I could, if I like doing jump cuts, I'd just jump cut the hell out of this. I'd be like, ooh, bam, cut. But I don't. I don't like doing jump cuts. I want you to feel it. So you can see there's a Pyrex glass. It actually is a really nice thick Pyrex glass, and it has kind of a cool refraction feature going on. Woo! Take the acid. There we go. And then it comes with a... Motherfucker. Come on. We can do it. All right. Here. Get out of there. Ah! It comes with a replacement coil. These are nickel coils reading at 0.15 ohms, and according to SMOK's website, they are a Omega dual coil design. Brings the vaping experience to the next level. I don't really know what that next level is, but apparently this brings it to it. Let me show you an unused coil up close, and I actually want to point out one of the reasons I like. So here really is the heart of these coils. If you can see inside, that would be the dual coil part of it. When they say dual coil, especially on nickel coils, what they really mean is that nickel itself, the resistance is so low, they need a dual coil just to get it to come out at an accurate resistance. The bottoms seem to have sort of a silver plating thing going on. And look at these juice windows. These are awesome. They are really reminiscent of the Arctic coils. I really like it when manufacturers understand that juice coils need to be extremely big. For comparison, let me go over here and get the coils from the EVIC. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about as far as coil size goes. So many boxes of stuff everywhere. Alright, so here is the Ego 1 Mega tank that comes with the EVIC. And let's take the coil out. Juicy hands. So, here's the nickel coil that comes with the Ego 1 Mega. Look at those tiny assholes. Which one do you think is going to wick better? If you pick the left one, congratulations, you're not an idiot. Yeah, Ego 1 Mega is good. Like I said, it just doesn't blow my hair back. As far as design goes, it works really well with the Joytech design-wise. I think that's its best feature. But as far as actual vapor enjoyment, I'm going to go with the TCT any day now. Let's put this back in the box there. Put that down. So these are the coils. And I'd like to point out, one of the reasons I like temperature control so much as I hit the camera is, look at the coil on the right. The coil on the right I have been vaping heavily off of for about 3 or 4 days. The cotton isn't even discolored. You can see there's some discoloration inside, but that's just kind of a given. But look at the cotton outside. It's not really even discolored at all. And this coil is still vaping like an absolute champ. So you will get a lot longer life out of the coils in a temperature control unit, because as you fire it and you get into dry hit territory, it ramps the wattage down so you don't run the risk of destroying your coil. And then of course in the SMOK box, you have the other colored O-rings, and of course, like I said, I've already put the black ones on, and then a little manual, which you're really never going to read. So let's put that back in the box as I drop everything. Once again, this is all stuff I'm sure you guys love watching. SMOK, Polish for dragon. And we'll set that aside. So let's get into the actual design of the tank itself. The Pyrex glass comes as a separate piece that pops off. Once you have a little bit of juice on the actual O-rings, it slips on and off rather easily. Without juice, it's kind of a bitch to get out. And then you see heat sinks on top. Here is the actual base. Nothing too revolutionary, nice big wide Cyclops holes here. I found that the airflow control ring on this thing is tight as a mofo. I'm not sure if that's my unit or not, but moving it's kind of a pain in the ass. It's easier to do once it's on the base. It's not stuck. It's just extremely tight. Not a huge deal, but I don't know if you like spinning that thing for fun. You won't get it here. And the O-rings, I like the O-ring design. They're actual little rings that slide onto the base here. Look at that. Look at that pretty nail. Alright, so as you can see, there are actually 4 separate O-rings, and they just pop onto the grooves here. I think that's a good design, and it actually is nice when you're slipping the tank on, and I'll show you how that works in a second. So I draw my hands off. This, of course, is the drip tip. It is a Pyrex glass drip tip, which I'm kind of digging. There's an airflow control ring on the drip tip. Again, I don't use it that much, but if that's what you want to do, hey, why the hell not? Yeah, as you can see, this slides, and it's got a Cyclops hole on the actual drip tip. If you want to mix some cold winter air with your vapor and cool it down, you have the option to. I don't use it that much, but it's fun to play around with. And then there is the Pyrex glass drip tip, which seems to be about the same thickness as the actual Pyrex glass of the tank itself. Drip tip goes right on there. Fits very snugly. It's nice. It's a dual O-ring drip tip, which fits nicely in there. And then, this is stuff you've seen before in a million other sub-ohm tanks. You just screw the coil on, like these. It's a bottom fill tank, no top fill here. Let's put some of my fave, the guar fluid, German chocolate beefcake, review coming up shortly. And then you fill it like you filled every other bottom fill tank. Just get it in there. Get it in there. The tank holds 5.5 mils of juice, which is a nice capacity for juice. I don't find myself refilling this to any sort of super annoying degree. And I think tank makers really need to make their tanks at least 5 mil now that we're doing the sub-ohm stuff, because as much as I love my Arctic and that thing does, I'm sorry, as much as I love my Heracles and that thing does chucka de tits, 3.3 mils of juice goes pretty goddamn quick when you're sub-ohming. So then you just screw that on. And here's one of the reasons I like the O-ring, and this is just a me thing, but there are threads on the inside of the O-ring, right there, that screw into the chimney itself. Now when you put it in, you just push a little closer and it goes, it pops over the first O-ring, and you're ready to screw. I don't know why I like that so much, but it's just enjoyable. It's enjoyable to me to pop that thing on. And it's tied in. Now let's put this on the Joytech. These, of course, are my handy-dandy E-clip. Everyone asks me about this. E-clip, ECLYP.com. You can order them. I do not leave home without it. Okay, and there we go. Reading at 0.14 ohms. That's because I have it locked in. Let's unlock that. Unlock its 0.15 ohm potential. Whatever, doesn't really matter. I have found 520 is a nice temperature for these coils. Not too warm, not too cold. As you can see, does a good job of cycling the power. I've never dry hit with this thing, and the vapor production is pretty awesome. It rivals any of my other sub-ohm tanks, with the exception being that you can take one hell of a long pull because you're not going to unsaturate the coil and dry hit because of temp protection. It's just a good-looking tank. Like I said, they didn't do anything too revolutionary here. They just gave us the best versions of everything that makes a good tank. Great coils. Gigantic juice holes. Put it in my juice hole on the coil, so wicking is just not a problem at all. Multicolored O-rings, the drip tip, which I really am enjoying. It doesn't really get hot at all with an air control in the drip tip, and dual Cyclops holes in the base. And then, let me, as I showed you, and again my hands are kind of juicy. My airflow control base is tight as hell. I'm not sure as if yours will be, but mine definitely is. Whatever, that's enough for now. Clear my throat. So let's pop back out, vape on it, and do some final thoughts. So as you can see, I am definitely a fan of the TCT. SMOK also released the VCT, which is literally the same tank, just with different Canthal-based coils. With the TCT, you get nickel coils and you get 2 of them. So if you do not have a temperature-controlled device, do not buy the TCT, because that's temperature-controlled tank and not Canthal tank, and you will wonder why the hell your tank isn't firing, because it's at 0.15 ohms. One of the other reasons is this tank is cheap. It is quite a deal. I've found it online at sigbuyer.com for $21.50. Why the fuck would you not buy this if you have a temperature control tank? Especially because it's a much better complement, like I said, to the Joytech than the included Ego 1 Mega tank that comes with it. If you want a temperature control rig, I can firmly say, based on lots of use, that the Joytech EVIC VT battery, standalone, get that and get a SMOK TCT and you will be rocking out with your temperature control game. Because this tank has just been extremely consistent. It's been very consistent in flavor. It's been very consistent in vapor production. I mean, look at the vapor production. Especially because with temperature control tank, you're not going to dry hit. So you can suck this thing like a golf ball through a hose at a Tennessee whore factory. Feel the smoke, children. Feel the smoke. No dry hit. Flavor the whole time. Which is why I think people are migrating to temperature control, because you don't run the risk of dry hitting, because the wattage gets ramped down. So, would I recommend buying this? Fuck the shit, yeah. Only, of course, if you have a temperature control mod. But you couldn't do much better than a temperature control tank than the TCT. For price, vapor production, and especially the coils, which are beauts. I am going to definitely give the drip tip drips up to this one. Get it. And And before I sign off, thank you very much to all of you awesome people in YouTube land for all the wonderful comments, for continuing to support the channel. Keep growing, more subscribers every day. I promise more videos are coming up. I am extremely busy, but I am managing to do these videos whenever I can. I will be announcing the winner of the Joyetech eVic VT $50 TBD Liquids giveaway very shortly in my next review, which will be a review of 5 Ponds Signature Series. Look at that. I got me some 5 Ponds, and I'll be reviewing half of their line. They sent me half of their line. And I'll be doing a hoity-toity review of some expensive-ass juice, which is delicious-ass juice at the same time. Oh yeah, and thank you everyone who's been visiting my new website, benmorrison.org. For those of you that don't know, there's a ton of new content on there, a ton of comedy, a ton of stand-up, ton of my TV work, and joining my newsletter on the website, because I will be resurrecting that thing and doing monthly updates on all the projects I have going on, which are plentiful. So that's that. This has been another Drip-tastic review with Ben Morrison. Thank you once again for being a part of my Drip-tastic family. Please subscribe below, like the video, leave a comment, tell me if you think I'm a douchebag or you rather like what I'm doing. I want to hear your feedback. But as far as the TCT tank goes, get it, love it, learn it, vape it.